Welcome to the Political Insider, your news behind the news. Let's talk about all things commissions because we had action in the Madlanga Commission, we had action in the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee. The Madlanga Commission had the final day's testimony from General Shadrack Sibiya. And after about 4 or 5 days of testimony, they've had enough of each other. Shadrack Sibiya is getting snippy and snappy at the commissioners and the evidence leaders. They are getting unbelievably frustrated with Shadrack Sibiya. Shadrack Sibiya is lying by omission. He is blaming everybody else. It turns out he's the only human being without any failings. Everything that he is accused of is somebody else's fault. And it was just obfuscation the whole way and frustration for every commissioner and evidence leader. He is just a really difficult guy to have there. He was going to hold on to his stories. He wasn't. I can only repeat how many times he just wouldn't answer the questions. And it didn't matter what the commission tried, he wouldn't answer the questions. He would go into his long speeches, talk about something that was irrelevant to the question, and the commissioners eventually had enough. And I don't necessarily think that Sibiya helped his case by doing this. He may not have implicated himself further, but what comes out of his time in the chair is that Shadrack Sibiya had a close relationship with Kat Matlala. There's all sorts of circumstantial evidence that he received gratification from Kat Matlala. There's the evidence of Witness F, or Sergeant Nkosi, as he has been shown to be, and that corroborates the fact that Shadrack Sibiya was on the take. And you can only imagine that what is going to happen is that when the next report emerges from the Madlanga Commission and gets sent to Speedy Gonzalez, otherwise known as President Cyril Ramaphosa, that he will have to refer Shadrack Sibiya for further action. Shadrack Sibiya is too low on the totem pole. He's not connected to politicians. The only politician he seems to be connected to is Senzo Mchunu. He's not related to the president or any of those most favored ANC politicians who would then break the rules to protect him. So it's going to be very, very difficult to see Shadrack Sibiya surviving out of this one. He's late in his career, and he's going to do well to end up on the other side of the charge office, because it seems fairly clear from the evidence that Shadrack Sibiya was doing Kat Matlala's bidding. He was being rewarded for this. I think in every country in the world we would call it the corruption, but in South Africa you never know. Maybe it's commissions. But hey, we love commissions in South Africa, but this guy was as shady and as crooked as a 3 rand note. So let's just see. While we talk about crooked people, and before we get to tell you what happened in the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, let me remind you that we will be holding our next State of the Nation breakfast on the 6th of March with Helen Ziller, and joining me on the panel will be renowned political analyst Sandile Swana. It's going to be a great morning. We are going to be asking Helen some very interesting questions. I know that Sandile is not going to hold back. If you want more information, go to our website, sona.co.za, or look in the information block box below. Right, we said we were going to go to the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, and there they had the pleasure of entertaining our own James Bond. They call him 0070707. He is the fake James Bond known as Brown Mokgotsi. And he arrived there dressed as a pimp, wearing a white suit. And clearly the guy is quite delusional. He really believes that he's some kind of double agent with a license to thrill. He is really, it's almost you can't stop watching him. Really, you can't. The guy is like a. If you remember, there was a movie recently, a remake of an old movie called, The Life of Walter Mitty. And this was about a guy who kept on imagining that he was some kind of superhero. I think this is what Brown Mokgotsi, how he lives his life. He really does think that he's some kind of double agent. Now, look, he's a police informer at best. He kept on talking about he went on overseas trips and he helped police investigate this and investigate that. He investigated nothing. He was a snitch. That was his job, was to speak about things that he may have heard, to hang around, hopefully, I presume, to hang around pubs, shebeens, taverns, whatever they would be, wait for somebody to get drunk and then listen to what they had to say and then go and sell that information to the police for money. That's all he did. He was no double agent. He was no secret contractor. He was nothing. He was an informer. And he did have two memorable encounters. One was with Glynis Breitenbach, who finally showed a little bit of fight and fire. And the other was Julius Malema. That both seemed to revel in destroying this poor guy. And he is almost a sad character. He kept on insisting that, he was investigating, and he went to Kenya to investigate stuff, and he went, But the guy has also got criminal records of his own. He's been responsible for killing somebody, but the case went nowhere. He's been wanted for fraud, all sorts of things. He is just, a low-level criminal. And what is incredible is that he had the ear, by the looks of things, of Minister Mkhunu, as well as Kat Matlala, which kind of says more about those people than it does about Brown Mokgotsi. You almost want to congratulate Brown Mokgotsi for selling these people the idea that he is in some way important. He's just a low-level huckster who couldn't believe that these people were answering his calls. He was there in Parliament. There was less grandstanding because you had an easy victim here. He's politically expedient. You can do whatever you like. He's not somebody who's a friend of one parliamentarian or another. And Mokgotsi, shame. I mean, really, you almost feel sorry for him by the end of it. The guy's delusional, and he will have to answer, I think, to his earlier crimes. I think that's all that's going to happen. But we'll keep you updated with the happenings of the Commission as they go along. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and watch our next segment on the Political Insider.